Okay, hi everyone. I'm back. 2 more minutes. I know of a few friends who said they were going to join this morning. I want to make sure we don't get started too early to make sure everyone gets here in time. I'm really excited. I'm very excited about this. So we're going to go for 60 minutes. Again, 60 minutes. It's the Bikram series, also known as Hot 26 series, but we don't have any heat. This is a great time for you to try this series if you've been curious about it, but a little intimidated by what is usually 104-degree temperatures and 40% humidity. So let's go ahead and we'll just get started. Just again, if you're joining and missed this earlier, you want a yoga mat for sure. The only other thing I recommend is water, and I will lead you as to when you take water breaks. It's a little different that way in the series that I let you know when to take water breaks. So you will get water breaks, but not for the first 5 poses, but I will not forget. And then we also have blocks. If you have blocks and you're used to using them, go ahead and get yourself some blocks. Okay, so we're going to start in the middle of the mat. Bring your feet together to what's comfortable. Big toes touching if that's comfortable. And make sure that your feet are really turned on. You can feel the floor underneath them and you're lifting your arches as much as you can. If feet together is not as comfortable for some of you, you can also stand with feet hip width apart, but you just don't want them wider than that. So let's start. Feet together. Go ahead and feel the mat, the ground under your body. We're going to begin with standing deep breathing. So we're just standing here, getting comfortable. Me and you. I'm getting used to teaching to a computer screen right now, and you may be getting used to practicing yoga watching some kind of screen. A lot to get used to this morning. Okay, we're going to bring hands together and interlace the fingers so the webbing of the fingers really connect and meet. We're just really getting to know all the little parts of our body here this morning. So you're going to put your hands under your chin this way, elbows pointing down to start, shoulders relaxed. We're going to go through some rounds of deep breathing. Let's begin here. We're going to inhale, arms up. The fingers stay tucked to your chin the whole time. Inhale, arms up. Open mouth, exhale, push your neck back. Inhale, elbows up, pointing towards the ceiling. Inhale, feel your lungs, and it's an open mouth exhale. Gently push your neck back here and bring the elbows around to wrap in front. Inhale, elbows up, chin level, parallel to the ground. Exhale, open mouth, exhale, send that chin gently back, look up towards the ceiling, elbows wrap around towards the front. Inhale, chin up. Steady gaze. We're going to do several rounds of this, so you don't necessarily need to be watching me, just a nice soft steady gaze towards the front. And then as you exhale, elbows wrap to the front, gaze is up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale here. Elbows come up, chin goes down, steady gaze, open mouth, exhale. Inhale. The webbings of your fingers stay connected this whole time, chin level, elbows up, exhale. Inhale. Elbows up. Now remember, on the exhale, this isn't a back bend. Keep your back and spine nice and straight. Pull your belly in. You're just gently pushing the chin back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Last one. Make this really deep, deep inhale. This feels really good. It feels good to breathe. Man, it calms me down. Exhale, let it go. Change. You're going to bring your arms to your side. This is Samastitihi. We're just standing in place. We'll stand in place for a few rounds of breath between each pose, and it's a really nice time to practice stillness. Try not to fidget. Don't get any water. Just stand and breathe. Okay, on your next inhale, inhale arms overhead. We're going to go into half moon pose. There's a little warm up here. So inhale arms overhead, and then go ahead and move from side to side, side to side, side to side. Warm up the spine, and we're also going to do a little front and back. Okay, and I like to just take a little circle, half circles really around front to back. And we also are going to head into a little back bend for this pose. So just prepare for that by maybe dipping back just a bit. Just kind of feel out where your limits are this morning with your spine. We'll meet with arms overhead. Your hands are clasped. Release the index fingers to make a little steeple. This is called steeple grip. With your hands, raise them up over your head. Glue your biceps to your ears. That's all one piece. If you think of biceps to ears, this is half moon pose. So we're going to inhale, find length out of the waist. Exhale, push your hips to the left as you fold towards the right. On an exhale. This is a side body stretch. And what I mean by that is a spot I know I don't often stretch unless I'm being mindful of it is the side body along my hips here. So to make sure you get that effect by imagining that you're sandwiched between two panes of glass, your hips are square to the front of you, your shoulders are square, biceps by the ears, hips push out towards the left. If you want to make this dynamic, you can inhale and always find length and a lift out of an inhale, and exhale puts you deeper into the fold. So side body stretch, I really feel this along my left hips and psoas right now. This is half moon pose towards the right. Hold one more round of breath. Really feel that stretch. And change. Inhale, come up. Find a neutral position once more. Make sure you're on top of your feet, and you can really feel the ground under your heels and the balls of your feet. And we're going to exhale over to the left this time and push the hips to the right. Oh, and again, I imagine I'm sandwiched between two panes of glass. Everything's squared up as far as my shoulders, waist, and hips. And I'm pushing towards the right with my hips. My upper body's falling towards the left. Biceps glued to the ears. Breathe here. Remember, you can always inhale and come out a bit. Exhale, find a bit more of a limit. You can do that. You can also just maintain stillness here. Half moon pose to the left. One more round of breath. And change. Inhale, come up, find length. Again, neutral position. We're going to head into that back bend. Don't make it too fast. I love to use a lot of control and slowly move into my movements in these postures. So I inhale and lift the chest, lift the gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, push the hips towards the front of the room. Inhale, lifts the chest. Exhale, push the hips towards the front of the room. If it's comfortable on your neck, you can let it fall all the way back and look at the wall behind you if that's what you're used to in this practice. Those of you who want to really protect that neck, you keep the biceps glued to the ears. Just stretch up, 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 and hips out, and change. Okay, we're going to come up, bend the knees deeply, coming down to our first forward fold of the morning. Deep, deep bend in the knees, a little warm up here too. So drop your hands, relax your hands, move yourself side to side, pedal out your legs. Oh. Some people like to warm up with a bit of a squat before we go into this forward fold. Again, if it's not comfortable to have feet touching, that's fine. Maybe shoulder hip width apart is fine too. I'll have my feet touching. I bend my knees so much that I can rest my belly on my thighs, okay? It's a deep knee bend. So belly on thighs, knee bent, hips high. Then we're gonna take the arms and wrap them around the back of the legs. So you can rest the palms on your calves or slide them down. Final position is actually be stepping on your palms with your heels. Cup your heels with your palms, hips high. Head and neck are the last to go. Let them hang here comfortably. Elbows are together in the back of your legs, pointing towards the back of the room. Head and neck relax. Keep your eyes open and your gaze to the back wall between your calves. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And change. Go ahead, take that steeple grip, biceps to ears, and use your core as you lift yourself out of that fold. Arms down, samastitihi. We still have 2 more postures before we get a drink, so stand here and find stillness. Great, let's move into awkward pose. 3 parts to this pose. Part 1, awkward pose. Feet apart, hip width distance, arms raise up, strong and straight, as if there were a mirror in front of you, it would look like your hands are resting on your shoulders. So arms strong and straight, feet hip width apart. Inhale, just find length out of the waist and a broad chest. Exhale, sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Send your butt to the back of the room. Arms strong, shoulders relaxed. Try to let those shoulders fall away from your ears as your butt goes towards the back of the room. Arms are reaching forward. Butt is back, arms forward. That's keeping you balanced and upright. Sit back, and change. Come on up. Part 2, come up all the way to your tiptoes like you're a ballerina. Breathe here. Practice just balancing up on your toes. This is the posture. Balancing on your toes, arms strong and straight. If you want to move on for a little more challenge, you can start to bend the knees and sit back again like you did before, but on your tiptoes. So I'm going to stay right here, balancing on my toes. For those of you who want to bend the knees, practice sitting back, keep the spine straight. The most important thing in this posture is the heels are lifted, lifted, lifted as high as they can be. Change, let that go, heels down. And then arms, remember, are strong and straight this whole time. Part 3, lift the heels off the mat about 1 inch. Bring the knees together, zip up the inner thighs together, spine stays straight, and begin to sink down once more. Heels are only lifted off the ground about 1 inch this time. Thighs are zipped up together, arms strong, slide down like you're sliding down the back wall. Do it slowly with control. If you come all the way down, don't let yourself rest. Come back up about 1 inch to fire up the thighs. Hold here, change. Come on up, all the way up with control. Let everything fall down. Samastitihi. Let's breathe here. Inhale, exhale. Okay, we've got 1 more posture before we take a water break. This is eagle. From now on, we're going to do all the postures, standing postures 2 times. So eagle we'll go through twice. That way you can get a feel for it the first time and then get deeper into it the second. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm under left. Give yourself kind of a self-hug here. Bring the elbows together in front. Pat yourself on the back here with your hands. Really just open up and get used to this compressing movement. This is all about compression, this pose. So then we're going to wrap the arms and make like they're 2 pieces of rope wrapped together. Elbows cross, forearms cross. Eventually the palms cross. If you're not there yet and you want to stay in the self-hug, do that too. So we begin with the wrap in the upper body. Sit back in this chair that we were in earlier. And now I really love to use my core strength to slowly lift my right knee. I like to lift it all the way up, touch the elbows, but lift the right knee up and get ready to cross that leg around the left. Cross at the upper thighs. If you want to use your toes as a kickstand, you can let them drop down and just hold yourself here. Chest is lifted, elbows pulled in towards the midsection. If you want to take it a little further with your toe, you can begin to move that toe so that the toes on the right side so that they eventually wrap around the left calf for eagle. Hold here, sink a little deeper, lift the chest, pull everything into that middle. Change, let it go, let it go, let it go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, moving to the left side. Give yourself that self hug. Again, let's see. We did right arm on top before. We're doing left arm on top this time. Self hug here, new side. Stay here for those of you who find this to be comfortable. You want to keep going. Wrap your arms around together as ropes. Pull the elbows down and in towards the midsection. Sit back in your chair. And on an inhale, lift that left knee up, cross it over the right. And we want everything to be square to the front. So knees are directly in line under the elbows. Stay right here. You can drop the toes for a kickstand. And you can also take the toes and begin to wrap them around that back right calf. So find your eagle, hold here, pull everything into the midline. And change. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. We're going to move right into the second set. So right arm under left. I'm worried I'm getting the arms mixed up, but I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Yeah, right arm needs to be on top. Okay, so we give ourselves that self hug or continue to wrap. Sit back in the chair. And we begin this time with the left knee once more. Lift. And bring it over. If you find I'm getting my arms and legs mixed up and you can tell, fix it on your own. It's fine. I'm going to give myself a break. I'm a little nervous. Okay, bring it down together. Elbows down, knees lift, and take that wrap. Breathe here. And change. Let it go. Okay, I put my right arm on top last time. This time I'm going left arm on top. Give myself the hug, wrap it in, sit back in the chair. Right leg comes up, all the way to the elbows, wrap it around. I lower down, bring everything in towards the midline, and begin to wrap those toes. Breathe here. Change, let it go. Inhale, arms overhead. Guess what? It's time to party. For us, that means we get some water. Go ahead, grab your water. You just made it through the first several poses. Good job. We're doing a time check here. We're right on time. Perfect. Take a drink of water. Okay, remember we're going through the next several postures 2 times each. So the first time, especially if you're new to this, learning the posture. The second time, you can really just focus in and take it a little deeper. And again, I'll let you know, at this point, you can have water anytime you need to. I will let you know when there are scheduled water breaks just to let you not have to think about it. But other than that, take water whenever you need, and just remember all of these poses and my suggestions are a guide. You know yourself best. If you have to make any modifications or back out of a pose, please do so. So I'm going to stand now to the side. I'd like you to turn and face the front of your mat. Decide which way is the front to you. I'm facing outside, really nice. That's the front of my mat here. I'm going to come to the middle and bring my feet together for standing head to knee pose. So we begin in Samastitihi. So go ahead and just take a stand here. And on an inhale, bring the right knee up. Right knee up, palms are open and facing the front. Hips are square to the front. Right knee is lifted, thighs parallel to the mat. You can stay right here if you need to. If you like to move on, remember we are going through this twice. You can lift yourself out of the waist a bit and then pull the belly in, pull the belly in, pull the belly in as you round down over that lifted knee. And finally, take the hands and hold on to either the foot, or I'm sorry, I should start higher. You can hang on, if you want, to the thigh or right below the knee on the calf. Do not hold on to your knee. That's the only thing you don't want to do. Hold on to the calf, slide it down if you want all the way to the foot. And if you've got this comfortably, you can take a basket grip and hold your foot like it's in a basket. What you'll notice is I've brought my upper body down to meet the lower, and I just stand here, breathe, shoulders away from the ears, belly in, and change. Go ahead, come back up, drop that right foot. We're gonna move on to the left. So inhale, left knee up this time. Just get comfortable staying right here, and if you want to stay here for the whole time, this can be the posture. Don't worry about moving on if you'd like to just practice balance here. If you do want to move on, we inhale up, find length, and then pull the belly in, lead with the chest as you round over that lifted leg. Bring your upper body to the leg. Don't bring the leg up to you. And wherever you want to hang, whether that's on the thigh, the calf, the ankle, or the foot, hang there. If you found yourself all the way down to the foot and it's comfortable, take that basket weave grip and just hang here. Breathe here. Change, let this go. Bring the leg down. Stay facing the front of your mat. I am thinking I'll turn because it's just a little easier for me to teach towards the computer. Okay, so we move into the second set. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, you can stay there, practice balance, or exhale yourself down, find the basket weave grip under the foot. Stay here, or you can move on to the next part. Find that balance, which is something I need to do too. Inhale about 2 inches up, and on an exhale, send that heel forward like you're sliding across a table. I think of it as going all in with my poker chips. I take my heel and I push those poker chips into the middle of the table. Stand here. This is the third part of this head to knee. There's one more part if you want to take it. Begin to, if your legs are both straight, 90 degrees, and you're comfortable here, belly in, begin to round your chin towards your chest. Eventually, forehead goes to the knee. So we're going to let this go wherever you are with control. Let it go. Okay, we're moving into the second side, second set. Inhale, left knee up. Breathe here. Stay here for balance if you want. If you want to move on to the next part, you begin to round yourself down over the leg, bringing your upper body to meet your raised knee. Hang on to your thighs, your calves, or your ankles, just not the knee. And then find the balance here. Balance right here, or if you like to keep moving on, inhale about 2 inches, and remember those poker chips in front of my heel. I'm going to push them in. I'm all in right now, all in. Legs are 90-degree angle, both of them. Breathe here. If you want to take it on to part 4 of this posture, tuck the chin towards the chest, bend at the elbows, and eventually your forehead gets to your knee. So wherever you are, that's where you need to be. We'll all come back through, change, let it go. Whew, that was a good one. Okay, moving on to dancer's pose. This is a fun posture for me to teach beginners, especially because I think a lot of people want to rush right into it. It's a beautiful pose, but if you want to rush in and hit that peak posture, it can be a bit much. So let's just take it easy this morning, okay? Dancer's pose, we take the right elbow to the top of the right hip, drop the palm, receive that right foot in your palm right here. So I've got, let's go to the side for this one. I've got my right foot in my palm. I'm opening the shoulder, but my hips and chest stay square to the front of the room or the front of the mat. This whole time for this posture, my hips are square to the front. In other words, they don't open, they stay square. Inhale, left arm up, and you can stay right here. This is dancer's pose as well, or standing bow. Stay right here. Practice this balance. to move into that forward motion. Instead of leading with your upper body, kick, 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 kick the right foot into the right hand, and that kick begins the lift. And you'll feel a tightening of your glute here. So that's great. So I'm going to stay right here for dancer. The kick propels your upper body forward if you're ready to move into that position. I'm going to stay right here with some of our beginners in class. Dancer pose, the sit, breathe here. You can practice that kick and lift, and then just let it go. Change, okay? Let all that go. We're going to move into the other side. So now I'm going to take my left elbow, drop it down. I'll turn this way. This is all new, me figuring out which way to do these poses while I'm teaching. Receive the left foot. Now everything is square to the back of the mat. Inhale, arm up. If you have comments about the best way for me to be facing the computer or not facing the computer, be sure to let me know, because I'm figuring this out as well. So here's dancer on the left side. Right arm is lifted, chest, hips square to the front. And remember, you just began a kick and a lift in the foot. So if you're new and you want to just practice doing this, lifting and kicking into your hand, which of course turns on the glute here, you can see that. Just practice there. For those of you who work into more further along in dancer, remember that kick and lift are what lowers your upper body down as you kick out. Okay, change, let this go. That was a lot of instruction. Let's do this next round with a little less instruction and just some breathing. So right elbow drops down along the right leg. I receive the right foot. Inhale, left arm up. Breathe here, get your balance, and then begin to kick into that right foot. The kick helps the upper body come down. Breathe here wherever you are. And change, let it go with control as much as possible. We'll move on to the other side. So left elbow meets the left hip, drop the arm. Receive the foot, right arm is raised. Straight forward in front of you is your gaze, your shoulders, your hips, all straight forward. And now kick, kick the left foot into the hand. Breathe here. Let the kick propel your upper body forward. You lose balance, come back out, have control. And wherever you are with control, change, come on out. Inhale, both arms up. Whew, that's an intense pose, a lot of focus. Exhale, let it go. Whew. Okay, we're moving into balancing stick. So come to the back of your mat now. So I'm at the back of the mat, facing the front. Inhale, arms overhead. Make that steeple grip again, like we did before. So steeple grip, arms over your head, biceps glued to the ears. Step forward on your right foot, just a couple, like, I don't know, not very big, just a step with your right foot, arms glued. And you're going to shift all your weight into your right foot really gently so that you can just lift your toes gently with the back left toes. And with control, as I begin to lift, 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 that back leg, my upper body comes straight down, and I want to make the shape of a T eventually with my body here. This is balancing stick, right side. Lift that leg, pull the arms towards the front, and change. Let it go. We'll meet our feet at the back of the mat once more. My arms stay raised the whole time. That keeps my arms strong. Step forward with the left foot. Breathe here. I'm reminding myself as well. And I begin to just gently lift the right toes off the mat. Right toes off the mat, upper body comes down as the back leg lifts up. I want to make the shape of a capital T as much as possible. Square to the mat. The hips and chest are square to the mat. Having trouble with balance on this side. And stretch it forward. Lift that leg. Change. Let it go. Whew. Come on up, arms down, Samasthiti. Take a breath here. This is an intense posture with your arms up by your ears. So everyone now, inhale, your shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them back, and just like you've rolled them one spoke on a bicycle cog, one spoke back with your shoulders. Open up, be broad here, but also don't let that be a reason to arch your back. When you broaden at the shoulders, I still physically pull my ribs in and think ribs need to stay in even while shoulders are open. Otherwise, we're going to overarch and overextend that lower back. Okay, that was a little extra instruction just for standing in Samasthiti. Oh, okay, we're going to take second set of balancing sticks. So inhale, arms overhead. I've got that steeple grip with my hands, arms overhead, biceps glued to the ears. Step forward on the right foot. And wherever you want to be, just find balance on the right leg by lifting the back toes. You can stay right here. If you want to keep going, the lift of the leg lowers the upper body. Lift of the left leg. Stretch those arms forward in front of you. Leg is lift. Arms and feet are strong all the way from your fingertips to your toes. Everything's turned on. Change. Let it go. Come on back. Right foot meets the left. Left foot steps forward this time. Right toes are out. Breathe here. And then go ahead. Find that balance. Again, if you want to stay right here, this is balancing stick. The point is just to be balanced on the standing leg. To keep it moving, lift the right back leg as your upper body comes down. Breathe here. Your gaze. I haven't talked a lot about eye gaze. Your gaze is in front of you a few feet, like you're peering off the edge of the cliff here, and then pull the arms and toes in opposite direction. Whew, good thing I have the wall right here. And then change, let it go. Arms up, arms down. And guess what? Here's another water break. We're gonna take another water break before we move into the next set of postures. Go ahead and get some water here. Catch your breath. Okay. The next poses, and move them out a bit. Just a bit, I think that'll work. Okay, so these next poses, we're going to come to the front of your mat, the top of your mat. Let's see, how will we do this? Again, this is new to me, teaching this way. Okay, come to the front of your mat, face me. We're gonna inhale, arms up. Exhale, step it out. Feet are about one leg length apart or wider than your hips, wider than your shoulders, arms out to a T. So we're going into standing separate leg, standing forward fold. So bend the knees. And I bend those knees to make sure I protect my lower back, because bent knees begin a crease where your thighs meet your hips, and that is the start of your hip hinge. And we want to go into this fold with a hip hinge as opposed to a rounding down. Okay, so see the difference? A hip hinge, the butt goes back, the knees are a little bent. We don't want to do this. We don't want to start the fold rounding down. So bend the knees just a little, hip hinge, swan dive forward, lead with your chest into the separate leg forward fold. So arms are at the T, and I'm halfway here. When I reach halfway with a straight spine, I can drop the arms to the floor and let myself further fold. Head and neck are going to be the last to go. So with my knees bent, I like to rock here side to side just a little. And eventually you'll take the arms and you can let them rest here on the floor. If you need blocks and you want blocks, you can have blocks right under your hands here to the floor, or take them and wrap them around the back of your calves. Let them slide down if you want. And eventually hands wrap around the outside of the feet, but this is only if you can maintain a straight spine here. And then use this bind to pull your body, upper body down as hips go high to the ceiling, knees are bent, Head and neck hang heavy. Shake your head out no and nod it yes, just to make sure the neck is relaxed. Okay, we're gonna change. So to come out safely, come up to that halfway position, arms out to a T. Inhale everything up to the mid-center of the mat again. Exhale, arms to your side. We're back where we started. Breathe here. Next breath, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms out to the side. In this T for your arms, micro bend those knees. Yeah, you can see it, right? I'm bending my knees a little. And then I swan dive forward, hinge at the hips, swan dive forward, arms out to the T. When I'm halfway there, I can drop the arms, let the butt and hips keep coming up, and the arms can take a bind along the calves, ankles, or all the way down to the outside of the feet. Let the head and neck hang, shoulders relax. Breathe here. Head and neck down to the ground while your hips go up to the ceiling. Okay, change. We're going to come up halfway, straight spine, arms out to the T. Lift all the way up. That's great core strength. Bring it all together. And let the arms drop to your side. Samastitihi. Okay, let's do triangle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step it out, arms to the T, just as we were before. So here's the difference. I'm where I was in that last posture. Everything's facing the front. I'm facing my computer. And now I'm going to take my right toes and turn them out so that they're facing the back of the mat. Right toes out, the rest of me is in this T, and then I bend the right knee and scooch my toes so that my knee is over my ankle. However far that looks for you. You might have a shorter distance between your feet here. That's totally fine. Okay, you just want your knee over your ankle. And then rather than send myself down like this, I want to maintain a lift on both sides of my body. So I'm going to tick-tock the arms first before I lower. And as I lower down, I use my legs. You can see I still have a lift here in my right side body. And just bring that wrist to the knee and gently let it slide down while maintaining a lift here in your side body. Final expression is a turn up towards my left hand. Gentle, gentle on the neck. If that's not comfortable, keep facing forward. Or create a twist in the spine by looking up at the left hand. This is triangle. We're going to change. Inhale, arms up. Turn the toes back towards the front. And then the left toes turn out towards the other side of the mat. Bend to the left knee. Hopefully you're getting more comfortable with where we are because of the last side. Okay, so knee is stacked over ankle. Remember, I want to maintain a lift on my left side body, so I'm not going to crunch over this way. That's a different triangle. That's a different style of triangle and a different yoga, and I'm happy to teach that one too. But for now, we're doing this one. Tick-tock the arms and go ahead and take that wrist and gently push against the left knee to open up here at the hips. Left knee, let it slide down. You see I still have a lift here. It's not bent. Final expression, I can look up towards my right hand. Breathe here. Triangle pose. Oh, I just noticed I need to pull my right ribs down. So I look and lift with the right arm, but I don't want these ribs to pop out either. Okay, change. Inhale, arms up to the T, straighten the leg, turn the toes in, bring it all together at the top of the mat. Exhale, arms to the side. Let's take a breath in Samastitihi. Okay, round two for triangle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step it out to a T. Turn those right toes, bend the right knee, so knee stacked over ankle. Arms are to the T. Tick-tock your arms to 6 and 12 and just bring that wrist, the right wrist to meet the right knee. Gently push that knee open, lower down. Final expression, turn and look at your left hand. Breathe here. I just remembered I need to pull my ribs in on my lifted arm side. That's a habit I have that I keep in check. And change, let it go. Inhale, arms up. Turn right toes in, left toes out. Bend at the left knee. Tick-tock the arms, 6 and 12, and then I find my knee with my left hand and gently push that open while I lower down. Last thing is to turn and face the raised right palm, triangle pose. Change. Bring those arms to the T, turn the toes in, bring everything to the top of the mat, lift, exhale, let it go. Samastitihi. Okay, let's move into pyramid pose. Let me do a time check. We're good. I think we'll just do one round of this and one round of tree, and then we'll move to the floor. So inhale, arms up. I'm going to take prayer with my hands. So hands are in prayer, and that means the thumbs cross in front. Hands are, all the fingers are in prayer, thumbs cross one over the other. Step out this time again, but not as wide as we did before, maybe just like 2 feet or so. We're going to turn everything to the back of the mat so that I'm completely facing the back of the mat with everything but my back foot, which is at a 45-degree angle, palms glued to ears. And I'm going to micro bend that front knee and begin to dive over that knee. This is forehead to knee, separate leg, standing separate leg, forehead to knee. So I'm diving over that front knee. I can keep hands in prayer here or let them separate to hold me. And this is a great time if you have blocks. I should have said this earlier. If you have blocks, put them in front of that standing foot, front foot, and let your hands rest on them, and then let yourself just curl down. Eventually you get the forehead to knee by tucking the chin to the chest. Tuck the chin to the chest, pull your belly button in, and then bend the knee enough to get it to your forehead. Okay, change. We're going to let go, come to that halfway lift. I'm going to go ahead and take my blocks with me, and we're going to rotate everything around to the other side of the mat. So now I'm facing the other side with my left foot in front. Everything is square except for that back right foot at a 45-degree angle. Micro bend the front knee and begin to dive over that knee. I'm going to use these blocks on either side of my foot, and then let my head and neck be the last to go. Tuck the chin towards the chest so that you're choking off your throat. And go ahead, pull that belly button in when you're trying to get forehead to knee, and let the forehead meet the knee by bending the knee. Okay, change, come on up halfway. I'm going to move the blocks to the side and turn to the front. Bring everything to the center. Exhale, arms out, samastitihi. Take a drink of water here if you want. We have one more standing pose. We're going to do tree, one time on each side. And then we're going to go to the floor. I can tell I've done extra instruction because I'm going over time with the standing series. Okay, so for tree, find your balance on both feet. Find the ground underneath you. And then I like to encourage people to open up at the hip, like windshield wiper, the right leg before you hop right into tree, because your hip opener, your hip will let you know how high to bring your foot. So you can stay right here, balanced on your toes, or you can bring your foot up along your ankle or calf, skip over the knee, and bring it up to the inner thigh, and press the foot against the thigh. Or the final expression for tree in this particular series is to take your right foot with your left hand here and let gravity gently pull the knee down. So find your tree, and we'll hold here for just a minute. Just breathe here wherever you are. Okay, beautiful. Change. Go ahead and with control, let that go. We're going to stand on the right foot now and find tree with our left side. So I open it up with the hips first. And then bring my foot up. I can balance and kickstand, bring it up to the calf or the ankle, all the way up to the thigh. Remember, I skip pressing it against my knee. Or final expression is to grab it with the opposite hand, Let gravity bring your knee down and hold tree wherever you are. Let's take a round of breath here. Great, let's change, let it go, and guess what? We're done with the standing series. We're gonna go to the floor. So take a drink of water, lie down on your mat for Shavasana. You want your head to the front of the mat and your toes towards the back. So we're gonna lay down in Shavasana. We aren't done, but we take Shavasana breaks on the floor between all of our postures now. So take a drink of water. If you need one, find Shavasana. Really just let yourself melt onto the floor for a minute. You just worked really hard in that standing series. So we're going to move into floor poses now. First one is wind removing pose. We start on the right side. Take the right knee and bring it up towards your chest. Right knee towards the chest. Grab it with your hands and then gently encourage it to come down towards the right armpit and along the side ribs. And if you've got it, you can wrap your arms around that calf so that you're holding on to opposite elbows. Pull the right knee in and turn on the left leg like you're standing. So flex the left toes, relax the right toes, flex the left toes like you're standing on the ground on the left foot. Pull in the knee and change. Let it go. Right leg down. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So bring the left knee in towards your chest. Grab hold of your calf and then gently encourage it to come down towards the left armpit, grazing the side ribs. And again, you can wrap your arms around that left shin, hold on opposite elbows, pull down, flex the right toes this time like you're standing on the right leg, pull in on the left, and change. Let that left leg go, and we're going to do it on both knees now. Both knees come up. Both knees come up towards the chest. This is a spine lengthener, so I like to take my chin and make sure it's tucked towards my chest. And but my head still stays on the ground, and then hang on, pull on both calves here, opposite elbows if you can with your hands. Pull in, breathe here, change. Bring the legs down. We're back in Shavasana. Shavasana here. Just breathe for a minute. So to get out of Shavasana on the floor, between all the poses, we do a sit-up. If you have lower back problems or you're trying to just avoid sit-ups in general, go ahead and turn over on your own. When I had lower back pain, when I went through this series before with lower back pain, I would turn around and do a push-up when everyone else was doing a sit-up. So if you're doing a sit-up with me, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale audibly, 2 quick breaths while you sit up. Sit up and quickly just come over, try to touch your toes for a hamstring stretch, and then turn over onto your belly for the next pose, Cobra. So on your belly, press the hands into the mat under your shoulders and pull those elbows together behind you. Zip your legs up to make a Cobra tail, and then just inhale yourself gently off the mat. Lower back strength. You can even lift the hands a little if you need to make sure you're using lower back strength rather than your arms to push you up. It doesn't have to be a big lift. This isn't a big Cobra. This is baby Cobra. And then let it go. Let your arms go. Turn palms up towards the ceiling. This is belly down Shavasana. Look towards the right. Just lay resting your left cheek. Belly down Shavasana. Okay, we're going to move to half locust. So flip the palms back down. I flip the palms there down on my mat. Roll hips side to side to put your palms under your hips. Perhaps the pinkies touch. And then move your mouth to the mat. So, or your chin or mouth to the mat. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me if I do that, but chin is to the mat or the mouth, and then just lift the right leg. Press everything down into the mat except for the right leg, which lifts high. Lengthen it long and lift it high. and change. Immediately lift the left foot. Again, press everything into the mat that you've got, your shoulders, your hands, your right hip as you lift the left. Change. We're going to do both legs now. First, make sure your mouth is definitely on the mat and doesn't turn or look to protect your neck. Mouth, lips are on the mat. You can scooch your fingers a little more down towards your knees, and you're going to lift both legs. I'll do this very gently to give instruction. Lift both legs off the mat while your lips are on the mat. Lift both legs up and change. Let it go. Belly down Shavasana. Let the arms go. Flip the palms so they're facing up, and this time turn onto your left cheek. Look at your left by turning onto your right cheek. Belly down Shavasana. Breathe here. And then the next pose we're going to do is full locust. So bring the arms out to your side like airplane wings or bird wings, arms out to the side, and zip up that cobra tail you had earlier with your legs. And we're just going to inhale everything off the ground like you're an airplane, 747 taking off. If you have a baby in the house, you know that they like to do this one. So lift everything, lift the chest, lift the legs. This is full locust. Breathe here. Lift, 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 and change. Let it go. Left cheek on the mat. Look towards the right. Belly down, Shavasana. Hands up. And if you think about it, we just warmed up our lower back, the spine, by doing the legs, lifting the chest, and now we're ready to put that all together for floor bow. So bend at the knees. Bring your knees together to start. Knees together to start. Bend at the knees and send your feet back towards your butt. And then you're going to go ahead and square your face to the mat and lift enough to be able to grab the outside of your feet with your hands. So I'm preparing for floor bow here. We're going to inhale everything up and lift off the mat. You want to make the shape of a teardrop coming down from the ceiling. So everything is lifted off the mat. And change, let it all go. Hands down, look towards the left. Belly down, Shavasana. Okay, moving on to the next pose. Put the hands under the shoulders like we were before for Cobra, and give yourself a nice push up into plank. If you need to start from your knees, push yourself up into a plank like a push-up, either on the knees or with legs straight, and come to the front of the mat for fixed fern. So I'm going to take a block here and encourage you to take a block. Knees are together under your hips, and I separate the feet out. I'm going to move the tissue of my calves so that I can sit back between my feet here. And I like to take a block to make sure my tailbone comes in contact with something here. So sit here on a block for fixed fern and stay right here. If you like to move on and you don't need a block, you let yourself settle down between your feet. Chest is lifted. And if you want to go back further still, you can hang on to your heels with both hands and slowly let yourself come down, first on the elbows and then all the way down on your back. Final expression, arms lifted over your head and you're hanging onto elbows with opposite hands. Breathe here wherever you are. And change. We're going to gently, carefully come out of this. So push your hands back into your feet, come back onto your elbows, and my belly is really fired up as I lift myself up over my knees and turn around for Shavasana. Okay. Inhale, arms overhead. We're going to move into that yoga sit-up. Exhale, sit up. 2 audible breaths. Grab your toes. Come around to the back of the mat for half tortoise. I just did a quick time check, and I'll tell you we're going to go over time, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So if you have to leave right at 9 and you know that, I'm sorry about that. I will work on my timing for this. So inhale, arms overhead. I'm sitting back, hips on my heels, arms overhead. And the slower I go down here, the more core strength I'm using. So I'm going to bend over my legs, and I'm heading with my forehead is the goal to meet the mat first rather than the hands. Arms stay glued by the ears, forehead meets the mat, and then my pinky fingers press into the mat to lift and open those armpits. Head is to the mat, breathe here. Half tortoise. And to come out, I'm going to fire up the belly and go ahead and lift myself out as slowly and carefully as I went down. That really works the core. Arms down to the side and lay down for Shavasana. Okay, we're going to head into that yoga sit-up. Inhale, arms overhead. Remember to skip this if you have lower back pain. Exhale, sit up. Those are 2 audible exhales as I sit up and grab my toes. So now we're coming around to the front of the mat for cobra. I'm sorry, not for cobra, for camel. So I've got my knees separated, hip width apart. Knees are hip width apart, stacked under the hips, and feet are straight out below. I'm going to take a block, and I encourage you to take a block too, especially if you have knee issues and you want to work on knee stability. Take a block, put it between your inner thighs here, and just squeeze the block with your inner thighs. And this really helps stabilize the knees. And this is a great pose to just stay in while we move through the rest of it. So I've got that block gripped with my inner thighs. I'm going to put my hands in imaginary back pockets of my yoga pants. Bring the elbows together behind me. Lift with the chest, lift the chin, and then begin to push forward, hips to the front as I lift the chest. Camel pose, you can stay here. I do not encourage anyone to go ahead and go all the way back, reaching for the heels as you often see in final expression, unless your hips are stacked over your knees. So if hips are over the knees and you want to reach back for the heels and grab your heels, go ahead. This is camel. Breathe here. And change. Turn on the belly, turn on the core to bring yourself out of it. Gently take that block, let it go, and turn around for Shavasana. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes. We get a little hamstring stretch every time we do that. Come around to the back of the mat. And we're heading into rabbit. So for rabbit, you're going to take your hands and gently just find your feet behind you. Maybe hold on to the outside of the heels here. And this is the first and only time I'm going to instruct you to begin a fold using your chin and round. This is a rounding of the back. And so you'll start with the chin, tuck it towards the chest, and keep your eyes looking towards the belly button as you pull it in. And slowly follow that gaze down so the crown of your head reaches the floor in front of your knees. I'm going to stay right here so you can hear me. But full expression is for the crown of your head to be resting on the mat and the hips to lift up as you pull onto those heels. So you want to try as much as possible to keep the knees close to the forehead, lift the hips high, pull onto the heels. And change. Come up the way you went down, which means your chin is still glued to your chest and it is the last to come up. And we'll turn around for Shavasana. Okay, let's do that sit up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes. We're going to do separate leg stretching. Take a drink of water here if you want. I'm going to. We have the right foot out, left knee is bent and left foot is pressing into the right thigh. Okay, so we're going to inhale, find length. On an exhale, exhale that air out and fold over that extended right leg. Lead with the chest. Head and neck are the last to go, as they usually are in a fold. And if you want to bend that knee as much as you need to, bend the knee. Let yourself come over the right leg. And change, we'll move it to the other side. So bring right leg in, extend the left. Breathe here. We inhale, find length. Exhale, twist us forward. Lead with the chest. Bend the left knee as much as you need to. And go ahead and let your neck and head be the last to go. Forehead can meet the knee if you want, and bend the knee as much as you need to make that happen. And change, go ahead, come on up. We're gonna have both feet out this time. Both feet straight out in front of us. I move the tissue of my bottom out from under me so that I really make sure I'm connecting to the ground here. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Lift the chest and lead the fold with the chest. Bring the arms forward to touch wherever, whatever you grab. Grab onto your shins, ankles, or toes. Knees bent. Lead with the chest, and head and neck are last to go. Okay, change. Let's come on up. I'm going to grab another drink of water. Go ahead and lay back for Shavasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Remember to touch those toes and come on up for our final spinal. It's our final pose before we do one more breathing pose. So this is a spinal twist. Begin by bending the left knee and sliding it under the right leg. And then you bring the right leg on top. If you have hip or knee issues and you want to leave that left leg straight, leave the left leg straight. But what we're doing here is bringing the right leg over the left. I'm going to bend at the knee of my left leg. Plant that right foot into the mat. Sit up nice and tall. Your right leg is crossed over your left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist over towards your right. My left arm is connecting with my right leg here. You can hang on to that knee or thigh. Bring the elbow around, whatever you need to do. I'm going to take my right hand and just drop it back like it's a kickstand and just twist, twist, twist. Lead the twist with your belly. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. And then we'll gently come on out, let that go. We're going to change the twist and bring the left leg on top this time. Left leg over right. Knee is bent towards the chest. You can leave your legs straight. Again, if you have any injuries with hips or knees, I've been there before. Or you can bend that right knee under you. Just plant the left foot. Press that left foot down into the mat. Make sure it's connecting with the mat. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bring the right hand over and find some connection with that left leg, whether it's in the knee or thigh. My left hand this time is going to be a kickstand behind me. Lead twist with the belly. Relax the head and neck. Let it go. And then gently come on out. We're going to lay down one more time to do a sit-up. If you want to skip the sit-up, that's fine. But lay down, arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, sit up. And Our last pose is called Breath of Fire. So to do this, it's our last breathing pose, and then we'll take a 2-minute Shavasana. Of course, you can take as long as you want. You can stay in Shavasana for the rest of the day. Okay, so for Breath of Fire, I'm sitting back comfortably on my heels. You can also find a comfortable seated position, whatever way you want to. This is just a breathing exercise. So sit in a comfortable position and make sure your hands can be relaxed wherever you are. It really just helps the shoulders drop away from the ears. For this pose, it's like we're blowing out a candle. When you blow out, your belly comes in. So I'll do 20 to 30 rounds of it, and just, you don't have to go at my pace. Go the way is comfortable and best for you. But remember to bring the belly. It's like you're snapping the belly in as you exhale. So let's inhale here together. Exhale together, open mouth. We're going to inhale halfway and begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all go. Okay, that was the completion of our 26 postures. Good job. We're going to do a Shavasana now. Do at least a 2-minute Shavasana if you can. It really is just a nice time to have closure to what you just did, and kind of bookend your practice for the rest of your day. And it also really just allows your mind and body to process everything that just happened and integrate all of that into your life. So please lie on your back for Shavasana, get comfortable. If you have a blanket or you want to cover your feet or take some more water before you lie down, feel free. It is 9:05. I'm going to just lead us in a 2-minute quiet Shavasana. And I do want to, let you know, because I want you to be able to take Shavasana for as long as you want after I go. Please leave comments or share with your friends. Do all the things that you do with YouTube that I don't even totally understand yet, because I'm very new to YouTube, as far as subscribing and sharing and whatever. Let me know how I can better serve you with the setup. And I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you'll join me again. I'm planning to have a regular live stream of this particular series moving forward, at least for the next month, while we are guaranteed that we're sheltering in place here in California. And I'm also going to post some tutorials to break down each of these poses so that I don't do quite so much instruction during the practice itself. So that's a lot of information. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're still with me, namaste. The light in me sees, recognizes, honors the light in you. So let's do Shavasana here together. Namaste. For those of you who can keep taking Shavasana a little longer, feel free to do so. If you want to join me in coming out, just sort of wake up your body once more. That can either just be blinking open of the eyes, lick your lips, wiggle fingers and toes, whatever you need to do to kind of wake up once more. And if it's comfortable to you to roll over to one side or the other, go ahead and do so, and just kind of a fetal position, roll over to the side. Bend the knees. You can use your arm to kind of cradle your head for a minute. Take a breath there if you want. I'm going to push myself up to a seated position. I love to just let my arms do the work there, pushing me up as the rest of my body is just kind of limp, and finding a comfortable seated position. Once more, I just thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.